Righty ho, everybody. It's Tuesday morning, so you know it's Tuesday Tidbits with Workplace Education Manitoba. Today, our topic is HR professional practices. We wanted to bring this to you as a precursor to our HR toolkit coming up in Arborg and Selkirk, and also something that we can bring into your workplace if you feel that this is a need that you have in your workplace. Now, before we hop into the meat and potatoes here, I don't even love meat, like whatever, okay? Maybe burger and fries. I guess that's meat and potatoes. I invite you to look at the attendee chat, that's the chat that you have there. And thank you for those of you that have popped in to say good morning. I love it. And of course, Jennifer, you know I want to know where everybody's joining from. Thanks, Crystal, too. Appreciate that. So as a reminder, this is a great place for us to commune. And if you have any questions that you want to ask privately, there's a little box at the top. We have Gail and Rochelle in the wings, waiting to help you if you have any technical issues or to take a peek at those questions that you have. Also, the emoji button. So fun, right? So that's another option for you when I ask questions or if there's something that you agree or disagree with. You know I love both, so bring it on. And thank you, everybody, for these wonderful and beautiful good mornings. Great weather the past couple of days, despite not having our sunshine. I actually got out, took the babies to piano lessons and went, hey, I could still go paddle boarding. It's still warm enough. So yeah, it's important that we enjoy that time. So again, our HR professional practices is what we're looking at today. As a reminder, we're Workplace Education Manitoba, helping people to develop essential skills that are needed for work, learning, and life. And then, of course, our mothership web address, web.mb.ca, and our address isn't quite right. I accidentally put a dot in there. Guys, get that out of there. It's whaminterlake.ca. Good times. Our vision is that all Manitobans have access to the essential skills, knowledge, and training required to determine and pursue their goals related to learning the workplace and life. And even a topic like today's HR professional practices, some of these things, yeah, of course they're with HR, but the truth is, friends, we deal with people every day, don't we? Both inside and outside of work. WEM would like to express appreciation to the following for supporting the development of this continuous learning skills curriculum: Employment and Social Development Canada and Manitoba Education and Training. And this project is jointly funded through Human Resources Skills Development Canada and Entrepreneurship Training and Trade. Very good. Now, we moved. I know that some of you know this, right? We talk about it all the time. It's just that it was really exciting to come to a new place. And there's our correct web address, webinterlake.ca, and an overhead shot of where we are, just across from the Gaynor Regional Family Library in Selkirk. I'm sure I got all those words mixed up and jumbled. You'll notice a giant sign by the driveway. It's Red River College, and then underneath you'll see a cute, tiny little sign that says West Center, and that's where we are at. And that's at 825 Manitoba Avenue. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out. You can pop it into the chat here or use that question box. Our West Center is open, so those of you looking to do some upgrading, or if you have people on your team that could use a little extra loving, send them on over. Gail and Rochelle are there to help you out. Now, those of you joining from outside of our Selkirk Interlake region, we have a variety of different offices for you to head to. And so you can see that we're located throughout the province. And like I said, we're doing some upgrading there with skills gain, as well as providing community workshops. And this HR toolkit that we're going to look into today is one of those workshops, which you would find at webinterlake.ca. Now, what are the essential skills? Okay, we talk about them a lot because it's our job, but they are super important and valuable. So we take a look at this bottom tier of the blue: reading text, document use, numeracy, writing, digital technology. These are the skills that get us in the door. Now, what will make us shine and stand out will be our competencies in the other essential skills of oral communication, working with others, thinking skills, and continuous learning. And if we were to play Jenga, we would be pulling out that whole green section today will be what we're focused on. Oral communication, working with others, thinking skills, and of course, continuous learning. Now, for a few sessions now, we've run this HR toolkit for the past I don't know, I guess a few seasons. And what's been fascinating, well, number one, I love meeting the people and finding out what they do in their role and why they're there. And what was really interesting was meeting with the people and understanding what they do and then those gaps in the HR. So a lot of organizations, especially smaller or even some not-for-profits, they don't necessarily have an entire HR department. They may have a manager or someone who's designated to cover some of those essential HR roles. And so that was one thing that a few of the people were like, I had no idea how deep human resources can be. And so we say here the role of HR specialists are responsible for recruiting, screening, interviewing, and placing workers. And really, friends, that's just a scratch of the surface. They may also handle employee relations. Good times. Payroll, benefits, and training. And I laugh at employee relations because, like I continue to say and will forever say, it doesn't matter necessarily what industry we are in. We are still working with people, and people are precious and have feelings and emotions and things that they're excited about, things they don't want to do, right? And so our role in HR is to help navigate some of those difficult situations and even the celebrations as well. Oopsies, got excited. The role in HR also is to consult with executives on strategic planning and link to a company's management with its employees. In the past, we had a session on the difference between management and leadership. Anybody like to take a stab at what the difference is between management and leadership? Give you a moment. I don't mind. I like that, Julie. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, leaders are the people you want to follow, and to manage is the process and productivity. And when we're talking HR, human resources, we're dealing with the human part of it, but we're also dealing with that management part. There's that article, maybe some of you have read it, the difference between management and leadership. At the end of the article, there's a quote from a guy named Warren Bennis who says, you know, management and leadership is like the wings on an airplane. You know, we're not choosing, I'm butchering his quote, but we're not choosing between which wing of the airplane we want. We need both. So to be able to look at that human resources is helping to lead the people and helping our leaders lead the people while also checking in with those processes. Absolutely. That's perfect. So in our HR toolkit, and I made the slides super boring on purpose so that we could really pull out what exactly we're talking about. So within the toolkit course that we have, we look at each one of these. We look at strategy, professional practices, organizational effectiveness. So here's our management and leadership again. Workshop planning, talent management, right? We are giving that continuous learning to our people. Labor and employee relationships. Woohoo! Total rewards. We'll touch on that today. Learning and development, health and wellness and safe practices, and then HR metrics, reporting, and financial management. So we say here the human resource strategy affects the performance of the workforce, which affects the organization. So even with what you've been saying here in the chat, we can recognize that ripple effect that comes when we're dealing with people and process. And If we have that decrease in productivity and engagement, a human resource strategy can significantly reduce performance and profitability of the company. So if we don't have a strategy in place, if we're not managing the talent that we have and leading the people, we will be less productive because there'll be less engagement and we won't be able to enable our employees. It'll be very difficult. A resource strategy focuses on the performance of the organization. So it's not just, and I hope this phrase doesn't offend anybody, it's not my intention. It's not just a bunch of hand holding. It's so much deeper than that, right? It's providing that strategy and working with our management team so that we're all in the same place. It's like we're the glue with HR. We pull both sides together and create this strategy and whatever that looks like in your organization so that we can see that increase of performance through employee engagement. Do you see how this is all super duper tied? Holistic view, right? Taking a look at the whole. This gives us that sight to systemic issues, okay? And there's been a lot of talk about difficulties in different organizations that we're seeing, partly because of COVID, and perhaps because COVID actually, maybe those issues were already there. It's just COVID pulled the Band-Aid off, and we forgot to get stitches, and now we're bleeding all over the place, right? So when we have this strategy, we have that insight to what's actually going on, what's causing the trouble, and how can we fix it, which is a really exciting place to be. It means that we can develop our team, right? We can bring that leadership to our staff because part of our role in HR is to recognize those training gaps. And so perhaps if you're in a larger organization, you'll have a specific team dedicated to training and learning and development. If we're in a smaller organization, we might not have that. That might be plopped onto our laps as part of HR and developing the team that we have. Now, talking about training, this happens, this ability to lead our people and to develop them is through providing training courses. And that's something that we love to do, obviously, at WEM, is to provide some of those essential skills trainings that you may be lacking or don't have the resources to develop, and resources could be time, people power, whatever it is. Motivational programs, something as simple as a half-hour tidbit, sharing that with your team, inviting them to our tidbits as an example, or doing your own type of motivational programs. Maybe it's as simple as hanging a motivational quote on a door or bulletin board or sending out an email, whatever it is, right? And it's part of that is knowing our people. Systems to direct and assist management and performing ongoing performance appraisals. How many of you are, by show of thumbs up or thumbs down, are receiving performance appraisals, both corrective and positive feedback? Hooray! I hope that if we're not, that we're asking those questions. Why? Or, hey, can we meet? I want to talk about what's going on, where we're going to be, where do we see us heading? And when we have that, guess what? We can get better. Or if it's positive, we know what we need to continue doing. Something really quick here, stop, start, continue. Some of you have heard of this. What should I stop doing? What should I start doing? And what should I continue doing? These are great questions to ask. Be prepared for the answers. They might not be what you think, right? So yeah, that's a whole other topic, which I'm very passionate about because I feel like when we have those big boy and big girl conversations, which can be difficult and awkward for some of us, when we flip our mindset around why we're doing it, which is to retain our right people, to help them to get better, when we do that mind shift, then doing and performing these performance appraisals and asking for them if they're not happening will help us to be better in our jobs, be more liked in our jobs, and be more powerful and effective. We say here, I love this quote, HR should own organizational effectiveness. It should take primary responsibility for providing input, advice, direction, and execution with respect to organization effectiveness. What makes organizations effective, which is what it should say, is how they organize staff and manage their human capital. So we're leading the people and we're dealing with those processes, right? We're going on repeat here, but that's truly what it is. So my hope today is that what you're taking away is to recognize how I could better lead the people and what processes need to be adjusted so that I can lead the people, that I'm not stuck working and fixing on processes all the time, or that I'm confusing conflict with a person with actually a conflict with a process, which, friends, happens all the time. I want you for a moment to think about the role of each department in your organization. And if you're in a smaller organization, maybe hop to that next one. Think about the people in each department and what are their roles. And what are some of the strengths of the people that you work with? It is super hard to navigate, I agree. So I would love for you to pop in the chat a couple of strengths. What are the strengths of your coworkers? Mm-hmm. Creativity, absolutely. Resourceful, ooh, I love this. Mm-hmm. Professionalism, respectful behavior, willing to work to get things done. Woohoo, right, Kathy? Like, honestly, it sounds like the smallest of things, but without that, it's such a chore, right? Humility, mm-hmm. Knowledge, 100%. So helpful for our internal and external customers. Team mentality, thank goodness. Networks, very cool. Mm-hmm. So what makes you guys stand out? What makes your company stand out? I know, me too. Let's go for pizza. The truth is, some of the things that you've mentioned, the talent of your people, are what makes your company stand out. We live and shop and work in the world, the whole globe. There's a lot of competition. So what makes your company stand out will be the people, will be their talents, their skills, and their strengths. And when we recognize and use those, that's what makes us stand out. We acknowledge the strengths and we set people up for success. And that's part of our awesome role with HR. We talk here about talent management. This is one of our top concerns among HR professionals. Yet, the research shows that only 5% of organizations are confident that they have a clear talent management strategy and operational procedures in place. Why do you think that is? I have a few ideas, but I want to hear what you think. Why don't we have these talent management strategies in place? That's great. Talent management, working with our people, right? Recognizing those skills that we just talked about. Our talent would be the people that we work with, the people that we're hiring. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm thinking too. Yeah, could be, right? A lot of times we don't have a talent management strategy because we haven't had the time or the money. So we're lacking not the human, well, we're lacking the human resources, but we're lacking other resources as well. So when we look at our people, right? On our teams, they are our talent. And how are we managing their development? Some of us were not really. It's not really happening. It's happening if they ask, to go to a session, or we recognize that they're really good at organizing, so we put them in charge of files or whatever it is, right? But what are we doing to build that talent and to bring to them those gaps, bringing them that information to fill in those gaps? It could be fear of someone else succeeding as well. I really think that a lot of the time is that we've gotten used to, unfortunately, doing more with less. And because of that, we're constantly running on this treadmill and never really getting there. It's almost like a just in time delivery. You think about a business, we're doing things just in time. We have just enough people. We're scheduling just the right amount. We're never really giving anything extra because we might not have it. We might not have it to give. But what if we took time to create a strategy for the development of our people? Wouldn't that be amazing? It enables us to identify the right mix of individuals required to fulfill corporate strategic objectives. So in order for us to do that, we need to know what the corporate strategic objectives are. What are the goals? What are the hopes and dreams of our organization? If we do not have that, it's like trying to play darts without um, without our eyes, right? Or being able to see what's happening. And I'm not saying that people who can't see are unable to do that. I have a friend who's amazing and has homeschooled her children as a blind person. So that's not what I'm saying. My point is that we don't have that vision of the future or where our company wants to go. It's going to be really challenging to create this talent management strategy. It helps to plug those identified gaps in our workforce plan. Our workforce are our people, right? So are we lacking the human resources, or are they lacking training? Maybe we have enough people, but they don't have a vision of where we need to be, and they're not asking questions, which leads me to think that maybe there's deeper issues in our corporate culture. Oh, guys, it's so thick, it's so deep, isn't it? An effective talent management strategy keeps the pipeline filled with skilled and motivated workers who are aligned with corporate goals. And I think that we're really good at filling the first part of this statement, that we have skilled and motivated workers. You guys mentioned it, right? Our teamwork, people who are talented, enthusiastic, but are they aligned with the corporate goals? And when we have that, good things happen. So I wanted to briefly touch on labor and employee relations. Through various forms of intervention, including problem solving, mediation, training, and counseling, labor relations offers balanced advocacy to management and individual employees to protect their respective rights and facilitate a more harmonious work environment. This is covered in our HR toolkit. We get into it a bit more deep than I am going to today in our short tidbit. But I wanted to let you know that that is something that we will cover in the HR toolkit. Total rewards, right? I had that before. Maybe some of you were like, what the heck is she talking about? Well, it's these 6 components that help to attract, motivate, and retain and engage employees. Sometimes, we talk about compensation. I believe that that's an important part of our work, that we are compensated for the talents and for what we offer. It isn't enough to retain people. Thanks, Julie. What can help retain people are benefits, a work-life effectiveness, recognition, hello, thank you, performance management, and of course, talent development. How are we developing our people? Learning and development is a subset of HR. And like I said, some organizations are large enough that they have an entire learning and development team. But know that it's part of HR, right? The idea here is to improve group and individual performance by increasing and honing skills and knowledge. Step 1 would be to recognize those inherited skills and abilities that people already have, and then let's build on them. And what about health and wellness and safe workplaces? This is another component of HR. We talk about workplace wellness as an organization's ability to assist and support employees in establishing and maintaining healthier lifestyles. And there's lots of fun initiatives that can happen in a workplace, for sure, with regards to this. We say here that it can include increasing employee awareness on health topics, even bringing someone in for a lunch and learn, or pre-COVID, I was fortunate enough to come in and do boardroom yoga or chair yoga with people and to give them that opportunity to breathe and to stretch the body. It's really fun and awesome. Even to acknowledge some of those available resources in their workplace, in the community, or we may even look at establishing policies that support health-related objectives. There's a lot, the world is open here on this one. It would be really cool, though, to have these initiatives that actually align with what our people need. If we have a group of non-smokers, would we really want to bring in a stop smoking strategy or something like that? No, we want to work with what we have. And so, again, the role of HR is to get to know our people, and it's so important. I have a question here before we finish up today. As an HR professional, I can enhance the retention or recruitment of our team by, what would you say there? Super simple, isn't it? Yeah, listening, having effective communication. Definitely. Thank you. Definitely. Good communication, being supporting, recognizing regular performance appraisals, finding out their wants and their needs, which we know can be two totally different things, right? I love this. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, if you look at this list, it seems pretty simple, doesn't it? Mentorship, hmm putting words into action. Absolutely. Thank you. This is part of what you guys have said. We want to provide security to employees. Number one thing is to listen to them, right? Having that communication, being supportive. What about hiring the right people? And it can be tricky not just to hire, to hire just anybody because we have this gap and we really want to just get a warm body in, but we want to hire the right people. Have those self-managed and effective teams. Be fair, right? Performance-based compensation is an idea. It doesn't always work if we consider a unionized environment, which is also something we bring up in our HR toolkit. Training in relevant skills, creating a flat and egalitarian organization, right? Having the equality and making information easily accessible to those who need it. And so you guys hit it right out of the park here with these comments, good communication, listening, recognizing, yeah, having our eyes open, those regular performance, mentorship, and putting words into action. I want to thank you for your participation today. This is a huge and heavy topic. It's super deep, but it's important. And Rochelle and Gail for popping into the chat here where we're offering these things. We will go deeper. These sessions are, it's a long series, but the feedback we've received has been overwhelming because it helps those of us that are in HR roles that maybe haven't had that opportunity to receive formal training. It gets us to kind of take a sniff at what HR is all about and those roles and responsibilities. So much to explore. So thank you so much, everybody. Our web address here, webinterlake.ca for more information. And take care, and we'll talk to you soon. They are in person, these ones are, but if you are interested in online, shoot us a text or sorry, an email and let us know. Yeah, thank you so much.